Welcome to Real Rutherford. Real people, real talk, real estate. Coming to you live from Rutherford County, Tennessee.
We'd like to welcome you back to the Real Rutherford podcast. It's real people, real talk, and real estate.
Hi, I'm Tracy Turner.
And I'm John Turner. Tracy, I think you probably had a pretty busy day today in real estate, haven't you?
I did. I had a very busy day showing 6 houses to some fantastic clients. So that took up my afternoon, but it's always fun to be out with people and trying to help them reach their real estate goals. So it was a good day.
Awesome. Well, talking about that, I ran across this stat the other day. It kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but a lot of times we're asked, how many people actually grew up in Rutherford County? And even though I don't have that stat here, I do have a stat that 52% of the people that live in Rutherford County were actually born in the state of Tennessee.
Wow. That's surprising. Okay, so that means that nearly half of our neighbors came from somewhere else. And actually, you and I are part of that story too.
Yeah, we actually are. And, we thought something that'd be fun for the listeners today is kind of recap how we ended up here, how long we've been here, what's kept us here. So I think that's going to be part of this podcast. We'll go over that.
That'll be fun. And we also have a quick market snapshot. We've got one smart buyer tip and some great local events. And we also have heard a little rumor about a certain West Coast burger joint that is eyeing Smyrna. So stick around. Yes.
I wonder who that could be. So, all right. Well, let's. Why don't we start off just talking about our story? Why don't you go first and
Okay.
let our listeners know, because you weren't born in Rutherford County, correct?
I was not born in Rutherford County. I was born in Southern Ohio. And I came to Rutherford County, well, first I started in Davidson County, but then I came to Rutherford County back in 1998. I moved to the Nashville area because I wanted to work in the music business. And I actually did that, had a couple of jobs, and then I ended up working at CMT, Country Music Television, for 14 years. But then you and I got a little wild hair that we wanted to work together. So I ended up getting my real estate license in November of 2014.
Good.
And we live here in Rutherford County now and work here. And I just love it. It's beautiful here. I love the people. It's big enough, but still has a small town feel. So I'm happy to call it home.
Well, I'm glad you call it home. I'm glad you call it home with me.
Me too.
I actually, even though I was not born here, I almost feel like I was. All my memories are of Rutherford County. I have been here almost my entire life. I was born outside of Atlanta. My dad was a pharmaceutical sales rep, traveled 11 states. And after one of his trips, he came home and told us to pack our bags. He drove through this quaint little town called Murfreesboro.
Oh, that was a long time
Yes,
ago.
and many moons ago. And he wanted to raise his family in this quaint little town. So we moved to Murfreesboro. That was right before I was starting first grade, the summer before first grade. So all my memories are of that. And people ask me where I lived in town. And I grew up with both my parents being realtors. We ended up moving a lot.
You lived everywhere.
I
right?
feel like I lived in every subdivision in Rutherford County. So I actually know it pretty well. No, great stories. And of course, this is home. It's what I know. And I just love the place, love the people. Traffic, not so much. I
Yeah.
remember one of those houses we lived in was off Cason Lane back when I was in high school. And all my friends want to know why I lived out in the country.
Right. It's not in the country now.
No, I would not call Cason Lane in the country right now.
No.
So, hey, all right, well, let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about what's going on with the real estate this week. We like to do a little weekly snapshot. Tracy, if
Okay.
you want to give us a little bit of rundown of some of the numbers this week.
Sure.
And these are Rutherford County numbers.
Absolutely. Rutherford County. So inventory, we have 1,537 homes, which is down 2.5% from last week, but it's still up over 35% year over year.
Okay, so a lot more sellers. Buyers have more choices than
Absolutely,
what
they do.
they had this time
Yes.
last year. So, okay.
Yes.
All right.
So, pending sales, we've got 116 homes. That is down from 121 last week. And it's also down 13% compared to this time last year.
Okay, so
So,
not far off of what we did last week,
yeah,
but off of last year, down a few.
down a
Okay,
little bit.
yeah.
But our July closings, we had 516 homes that closed. And that's actually the same number as July of 2024.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's up 8% from June's total of 477. So,
Okay. Well, that shows that's very interesting. You're kind of getting conflicting things because
mhm,
closings are even or up a little bit, and the pendings are down slightly. So
right.
it'll be interesting to see what that what that does in the future. So
It definitely will.
if you're a stats geek like I am, because I really enjoy these stats, some of you may get bored by them, but if you like these stats, actually check out the Turner Victory Team's YouTube channel. Every week, I dive deep into these stats. We
Mhm.
look at some regional things, some national things, but it's just something that I enjoy doing, and it certainly helps us to know these so we can help guide our clients through
Right.
this process. So, okay. Uh,
Good deal. Okay, well, let's talk about our real estate tip of the week. And we want to talk about understanding your monthly payment. So, the first thing I would say is that we don't want to focus only on the purchase price. Okay, your monthly payment is what really matters. And those monthly costs are going to include the mortgage, the interest, taxes, insurance, and possibly some HOA fees. Now, interest rates can shift your payment by hundreds, even if the price stays the same.
there's actually a stat on that, and it's an approximate stat, but it's good. It's a good one to keep in mind. But a 1% shift in the interest rate affects a buyer's purchasing power by 10%. So if an interest rate goes up 1%, you can buy basically a house that you can only afford 90% basically
Right.
of what you could afford. If it drops 1%, you actually can afford about 10% more house and keep your payment the same.
Right. But I would say that you should connect with a local lender early on so that you can understand what you can comfortably afford. We don't want you to be house poor. That's no
Yep.
fun. And, knowing your payment range will build confidence and it prevents regrets too.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely. So our goal is to help you get in something that you love, but something you can afford. And I always joke around and say, we want you to be able to still afford a Happy Meal. Go to McDonald's and a Happy
exactly.
Meal, which is probably a good segue into our next topic, huh? Yeah.
Speaking of
Yeah.
burgers, which is
Speaking of
one of my
burgers,
favorite things besides pizza.
yes.
Um, so the
Um,
big question, I guess, is
well, yeah. I was doing some research Friday night. After we had been out to dinner in Smyrna, we went to Hickory Falls. Certainly love Hickory Falls, great local restaurant there. Went to Hickory Falls and I was doing some research on the Smyrna Planning Commission just to see what was coming up. And lo and behold, Hickory Falls was on the Planning Commission agenda. We had heard back this time last year that the building and the land had sold.
right.
We never really researched a whole lot. We were told that, there probably wouldn't be any real major changes. Well, they were bought by a certain West Coast burger outfit.
Mm-hmm. Do we
Mm,
want to say the name? Can we say the name?
Yeah, we can say the
Okay.
name.
In
Yep.
and Out Burger.
In and
In
Out
and Out.
Burger. So they purchased the Hickory Falls building and land back in August of last year. And now it's coming up on the agenda that they are basically going to tear down the Hickory Falls building and build an In and Out building there. So I don't know how I
Yeah.
feel about that. I love
I
Hickory
know.
Falls.
Look, we have been going there almost every Friday night for probably 10 years. Fantastic place. We know the management, we know the servers, they know us.
They're so great.
Um,
I mean, what a great place for a young person to work because they really teach them a work
it
ethic
really
and how
is.
to interact with the public. So, we've had some people say, "Well, what can we do to stop this?" I mean, the thing is that the sales already happen. Whenever you get to this point, it's really a formality going through the planning commission, just
Right.
making sure all the landscaping's correct, the building design's correct, traffic flow's correct. So, I
Hmm.
mean, for all practical purposes, it's a done deal. It's just a matter of how
Right.
the final product's gonna look. So, we don't have a timing on that, but
No,
boy,
we're very sad. So go eat
yes.
at Hickory Falls and support them
Yes, that really
while they're still with us.
That really makes me sad, but you know, I mean, I'm reminded too that just down the road from there, if you remember, the Catfish House was there,
That's right.
and many years ago it was torn down, and it's set where Panera sits now.
That's right. I
Um,
still miss the Catfish House,
and
by the way.
that's just some of the
That's
things that
okay.
happen, and I can remember, you know, we talked about how long we've been in Rutherford County. I can remember plenty of times that there just, you know, there weren't that many choices of places to go eat, and now
Right.
we just have so many of them, and we're so
So
blessed
many. You
here.
don't have to leave Smyrna
Yeah.
to go
Or
eat
Murfreesboro,
somewhere. So
or even a certain side of Murfreesboro. I mean, you know, it used to be
it's
said
true.
about South Church Street, they didn't have a lot of restaurants out there, and now they're starting to get a lot of things, on that side of town. So, very, very blessed in this area.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
So
we want to talk about some upcoming events here in Rutherford County?
absolutely. We want to keep y'all informed about things happening so you can get out and enjoy those. The first thing we have on the list is the National Night Out. That's a Murfreesboro community event. It's going to be August 5th from 5:30 to 7:30 at Oaklands Park. That's at 427 Robert Street. So you can meet the local police officers, check out emergency vehicles. They're going to have games, music, and giveaways. And it's just really a great way to connect with neighbors and our first responders.
Yeah, that's always a great time. I know the kids love it, getting to be around all the heavy equipment and everything. Another thing to check out, August 7th, the Murfreesboro Little Theater presents The Tempest. It's actually August 7th through 10th and August 14th through 17th at 7
Okay,
p.m. nightly. It's at the Oaklands Mansion. It's Shakespeare Under the Stars. It's a beautiful setting. The admission is free, so just bring a chair or a blanket. You can sit there and watch it. Now, I mean, they do accept donations, and we would strongly encourage you to donate to the
that's
Murfreesboro Little
great.
Theater.
What a wonderful event. Okay, and then next we have Friday Night Live. And I think we mentioned this last time.
Yep.
That's going to feature Rubik's Groove. That's August 8th from 6:30 to 9:30. That's downtown at the Courthouse Square. So, you know, we're going to throw it back to the 80s. Woo woo, best music and the 90s, I guess, with this free concert. Again, the live music, food trucks, dancing. It's just a great fun event for the summer. So check
Yes.
that out.
Yes. And speaking of Friday, August 8th, you also have the Friday night market in the borough and food truck festival. This is from 5 to 9 p.m. It takes place at River Rock Baptist Church. It's 2248 State Highway 99. So basically on the church there at the corner of River Rock Boulevard and New Salem, or Highway
Right.
99 there. They'll have over 50 food trucks.
What?
Yes, I know.
Oh,
Vendors, music. So it's just a whole family event, and it's a great way to kick off your weekend.
that would be something your wife would really like, all those food trucks. Wow. Okay. Anyway, our next event is going to be on August 9th, and this is a bring your own vessel candle workshop. So you can get into your artsy side here. This is going to be at 111 East Lytle Street, and you'll be able to make your own candle by bringing your favorite container. And you can learn about scent blending, and you can also support a great local small business.
Yes, yes.
Sounds like fun.
And then on August 9th, the Murfreesboro and Smyrna Saturday markets, farmer markets, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call them. The one in Murfreesboro is on the square. The one in Smyrna is at the roundabout,
Right?
right there at the train depot. In both places, you'll get some local produce, baked goods, crafts. It's just a great time to go out and to support these farmers and these people who create these crafts, these
The
artists.
vendors,
Yeah, the
yes.
vendors, and most of the time you'll run into people you know. So it's just a really good
It's a good
time to
social
get out.
event.
Yeah, to get out into the community. So
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think that brings us to the end of this podcast. We thank you for tuning in to Real Rutherford. Hopefully, you enjoyed hearing our stories and catching up on what's happening around the county.
yeah, and if you're thinking about buying or selling or just want to talk real estate, uh, check out our website turnervictory.com, or you can send us a message on any of our social platforms, and we'll be more than happy to get back with you.
All right. Well, until then, we'll see you next week. Keep it real, Rutherford.
Real Rutherford is a production of the Turner Victory team at Onward Real Estate. License number 276665. Please check us out at turnervictory.com.